So today's topic is a little it is one of my favorite topics. So ego and artificial ego. Yes, the words are same partially, but their meanings are totally different. Their meanings are mirrored actually. They're totally different. Ego, okay? There is ego, then there is artificial ego. Ego is the first to define ego, okay? Ego is the infinity that the Lord of all universes breathed into the atom as his spiritual part. Yes. And the artificial ego, on the other hand, it is more like arrogance, extreme self-respect. Yeah, that is ego. More like a negative touch of self-respect and self-honor. More like a negative touch. That is artificial ego. Yes. Artificial ego has its roots intact with the animal's animality, and the ego, the infinity that we have in our heart, which I also sometimes call love, or soul, or spirit, or higher consciousness, or what? Oh yeah, spiritual essence. That is ego. And yes, it is the same ego that the Sir Iqbal talked about in his diary, the Stray Reflections. It is all English. Because normally he was deep into the Urdu and Persian poetry, but he also has some English writings and works. They're also very well. So ego, the presence of both the ego and the artificial ego in men is necessary. Yes, it is more like the dots connected. Yes. Okay. Dots connected. Ego, it is arrogance, extreme sort of a self-honor. I don't know why I'm repeating it. So yes, the presence of both of them is necessary. Yes. Ego is it is the basic level of craftsmanship. It is a basic level of craftsmanship. The ego, okay, it will help you to be pushed into the artificial ego. You know, it is also confusing me, as both of them are partially same. Ego, the artificial ego, it is also necessary. Yes, you have to be a little arrogant and old, and yes, so that the artificial ego, it can push you into the actual ego, which is your spiritual side, spiritual essence, infinity, higher consciousness, God consciousness, whatever you want to name it. It is named differently in different cultures. Yes, whatever you want to name it, you can. And ego, yes, ego is an artificial ego. It is a sign of a little of an insecurity. Yes, totally. Artificial ego is artificial ego contains one's comparison to the other creation, totally in every way. And if you're a little less than the other creation, another person, you consider yourself, yes, you consider yourself, yeah, that's the God, security God. But if where was I? If the insecurity pops out, okay, if the other person is better than you in some way, so therefore it is a little insecure, the actual artificial ego. Whereas on the other hand, the ego, it is divine, it is energetic, it is spirit, it is soulful, and it is the actual spiritual essence of Adam. Yes. And it is more important to have for the high level of, it is more related to the mastery of the craft. Whereas the artificial ego, it is related to the basic, a start, like a baby, crawling. And the ego, it is more like a Usain Bolt, running, sprinting. Yeah. So artificial ego and ego. And what is more to say on them? So each time the word ego is mentioned in the esoteric writings that you might come across, you do not have to take it as the actual arrogance, It is the ego, the soul, the writer is referring to. Yes. Artificial ego is hollow, insecure, but it makes you do the thing. It makes you, it actually pushes you to be a productive person. Insecurity too can push you into do something, and that trait, it is practical. Against the depression lies the ego. You push against the wall, whereas the depression, it sits and places its head on the wall and cries, nah. For ego, you got to do that, okay? Ego, testosterone, and then use that basic level of awareness, basic level of the basic collected data. Use that data to push you into the ego. Use the artificial ego collected data to push you into the ego. Yes. Basics to mastery. Basics to mastery. Baby crawling to becoming a Usain Bolt. Yeah. 100%. Inevitable. But most of the people, they're stuck on the ego, the artificial ego. Most of the people, they're stuck on the artificial ego, the animal consciousness, the animal's animality. So yes, what? What? Don't marry it. Don't marry your ego. And don't be proud of it. It is insecurity. Yeah, I know that it is cool. The insecurity makes you do some work. Yeah. I know it is cool. but it is still insecurity, as it is one's comparison to the other. Yes, it is totally one's comparison to the other. In any way, on a micro level, on a macro level, it is one's comparison to the creation. Ego, whenever the ego rages, what is the reason behind it? Someone's word provoked your ego. You're insecure. You're hollow. Yes. Whereas that's the artificial ego about which I'm talking. On the other hand, the ego, the divine. I don't like using the word ego for the soul, but that's what it is in the writings and the works, the esoteric works. Even the Lama Iqbal, he too used the word ego. He said, yeah, there is a quotation that is very well, self-sacrifice, about the self-sacrifice, yes. For to sacrifice, you need a self to sacrifice. An egoist alone is capable of self-sacrifice. What he said that you have to build. Suppose that you said that I'm sacrificing myself, I'm sacrificing my time for my loved ones. Wow, I'm sacrificing my life for my God. Wow. Is your life actually is your self actually some self? Is it valuable? Is it worthy? Is it worked on yourself? For self-sacrifice, you need a self to sacrifice. Yes. For self-sacrifice, you need a self to sacrifice. That self is ego, totally. What a pimple. For self-sacrifice, you need a self to sacrifice. And that self is your ego. And then he adds, an egoist alone is capable of self-sacrifice. Yes. So if शहादत है मतलूब व मकसूद है मोमिन, ना माले गनीमत ना किश्वर की शाही. Okay. So self-sacrifice is the terminus, the ultimate goal of a momin. Self-sacrifice, shahadat. Yes, totally. Our Prophet used to pray for that. Peace be upon us through him. He used to pray for the maqam shahadat. So that's how. But Iqbal says that, okay, I know that, I can see the passion in your eyes, but do you have a self to sacrifice? Huh? Yes, build yourself. At least build something valuable for your Lord, for your souls. Build. Do not go empty-handed. So build yourself. Never bow before anyone else. Yes. That's something. That's some self right there. And ego, do not be proud of the artificial ego that you have. Transcend it and move on to the next level. That is still a part of the animal's consciousness. Okay? Ego, it is never calm, it is always enraged. And still better than the other emotional states. Okay? Guilt, lust. Still, ego is still better than them. Anger, ego is better than them. The artificial ego, yes, artificial ego. Artificial ego is still better than them. What make it push you into the ego, actual ego? utilize the artificial ego to push you into the actual ego. Yes. Well, that was my favorite topic, but it's one of the favorite topics. But I can talk on it for hours. But yes, I need to sleep.